In a matter of hours, Jack and everyone else on Earth would be dead. But before that, he would kill the man who murdered his daughter, and that's all that mattered to him. The truth still surprised him each time he lingered on it. It was only a year ago that NASA had announced the discovery of an extinction-level comet hurtling towards Earth. They spotted it near Jupiter and said it would reach them in about a year. In the very same press conference, they said Zabat's comet would safely pass by Earth. It was supposed to be beautiful when it appeared, visible by most of the Northern Hemisphere. About 8 months later, the news broke that the comet had changed course. The public went into total shock. When Jack watched the president's address, he thought he had to be hallucinating. Most of the president's words blurred together in a sugar-coated haze. But, like everyone else watching, Jack had heard what the man was really saying. Zabat's comet was going to hit Earth in 3 months. Everyone was going to die. On the rare occasions Jack ventured to the bar, he had heard people talking about their end-of-the-world plans, their regrets, how fast they'd die. Would the impact kill them, or the aftermath? Then reality settled in, and nobody brought it up, almost as though if they didn't say the words out loud, maybe it would change things. That maybe they'd survive. That their superstition and wishful thinking would cause another solar flare to nudge the comet out of its trajectory towards Earth, or that it would magically disappear. Leanne, his stepmother, was one of these. "Honey, where are you?" "Just driving," Jack lied. He slowed down his pickup as he scanned the ravaged city for an intact street sign. The thick, oily scent of smoke and destruction was giving him a headache. He closed the air vents. "I don't think that's a good idea," she said. "You know it isn't safe out there." She was right. It wasn't safe. It didn't take long for the country to collapse into chaos once everyone knew they had 3 months to live. Once the food shortages and looting started, feelings turned primal and violent. It only took a month before the every man for himself mentality took hold. After another address from the president and harsh enforcement of martial law, the chaos stabilized to tolerable levels. Of course, it couldn't last. How could it? The closer the comet got, the quicker civilization unraveled. Jack knew many people who packed their camping gear and left so they could avoid it all. Not him. Not when he had unfinished business. The medium-sized town of Monroe, Washington, was what he expected. Roads were blocked with abandoned cars. Recent fires had raged through the strip mall to his right. A few suites were still smoldering. The smoke was thick here. Jack almost couldn't see the sky. Just ashy fog overhead with the occasional glimpse of clouds. Every store was picked clean, from jewelry to electronics to groceries. People saw the opportunity to have everything they'd ever wanted, and they took it. Jack was just surprised it had taken 3 months to overthrow civilization as he knew it. He would have bet on 2. "Did you hear me? It isn't safe out there." "I know. I needed to clear my mind." "Tell me you've at least been eating." "I've gotten enough, yeah," Jack said. In protest of the lie, Jack's stomach rumbled. He hadn't eaten a decent meal for a week. Jerky, nuts, and whatever canned goods he had left made up most of his diet, and left much to be desired. Grocery stores in his city had stopped being restocked months ago. Scavenging was difficult and carried too much risk. He never kept much food around his apartment anyway. He'd been carefully rationing what he had left, just enough to get him to doomsday. "You sound just like your father," Leanne said absently. He shook his head and leaned forward, ignoring the stomach pain. Idling in the street wasn't safe. He entered an intersection and looked for a street sign. He found one, then over a wrecked yellow Corvette, the sign itself stuck in the hood of the car. The beautiful sports car was missing all its tires, and a grotesque penis wearing a bowler hat had been spray-painted on its side. Leanne was now talking about Jack's father's favorite casserole, but Jack cut her off. It was time for him to go. "I have to hang up now. Thank you for raising me after Mom died, Leanne." "I love you, sweetie. You know, you've always been a true son to me. Are you sure you can't drive out? There's time. We've got the generator running. We're going to watch a movie and—" "I love you too." Jack hung up.